You walk past a mirror and something in you flinches before you even see your own face. You'd defend a stranger against the words you say to yourself every single morning. This isn't insecurity. It isn't being hard on yourself. It's a quieter pattern, and every day it stays hidden, it writes a little more of your life for you. If 3 of these signs sound like you, sign 7 is the one that finally explains all the others. Sign 1. The voice in your head is always on the prosecution side. Watch what happens after you send a normal text message. You reread it 40 times looking for the crime. You leave a meeting and immediately audit every sentence, hunting for the exact moment you sounded stupid. There's a narrator in your head with a red pen, editing every line before you get to speak it, and it never runs out of things to fix. Paul Gilbert, a clinical psychologist at the University of Derby, has spent decades studying this inner critic. His research found that when people talk to themselves harshly, the brain lights up the same threat system it uses when a stranger is attacking them. In other words, your body doesn't know the bully is you. It just knows it's under attack all day, every day, from a voice it can't run from. If that voice has been with you so long you've mistaken it for your own, that's usually the first sign of a war you didn't realize you started. Sign 2. Kindness bounces off you like rain on a car window. A friend says, "You did amazing today," and your mouth is already forming, "No, it was nothing," before they finish the sentence. Your boss praises the work, you credit the team. Someone tells you you look great, you point at the shirt. Kindness lands on you the way rain lands on a car window. You can see it. Nothing gets in. Denise Larigold, a psychologist at the University of Waterloo, ran a study on how people with low self-worth respond to genuine reassurance from the people who love them. What she found was quietly heartbreaking. Instead of feeling comforted, they often felt worse because the compliment clashed with the picture they'd built of themselves, so they rejected it to protect the story. If it's easier for you to take an insult than a kind word, that isn't modesty. That's a wall your younger self built for a reason, and it's still on duty. Sign 3. You apologize for taking up space. You say sorry when someone else bumps into you at the grocery store. You email your own boss with 3 disclaimers before you actually ask the question. In group photos, you're always at the edge, half hidden by someone's shoulder. You are, without meaning to, shrinking yourself to fit inside your own life, the way a person tries to sit small on a crowded bus. Karina Schumann, a psychologist at the University of Pittsburgh who studies apologies, has found that people who feel less deserving apologize far more often, and for things that aren't their fault. The sorry isn't really about the moment. It's a preemptive strike, a way of saying, "Don't reject me first, I'll do it for you." If your first instinct in almost every social situation is to make yourself smaller, that isn't politeness. That's a body trying to disappear before anyone notices it was there. Sign 4. You sabotage things right before they go right. You finally get the interview and don't prepare. You start dating someone kind and pick a fight in week 3. You get within reach of the thing you've quietly wanted for years and go silent for a week. From the outside, it looks like bad luck. From the inside, it feels like something in you is throwing a wrench into your own engine right as it picks up speed. Stephen Berglass and Edward Jones, working out of Harvard and Princeton, ran a classic study on what they called self-handicapping. They found that people who secretly doubted their own worth would create obstacles for themselves before a big test, so if they failed, they could blame the obstacle instead of themselves. It's easier to lose on purpose than to try your best and find out you weren't enough. Self-sabotage isn't laziness, it's self-hatred with a survival plan. Sign 5. You replay your mistakes like a trial with no defense attorney. It's 2 a.m., the lights are off, your body is exhausted, and your brain is playing a highlight reel of every embarrassing thing you've ever done, including something you said in 7th grade to someone whose name you don't even remember. This isn't overthinking, it's a courtroom in your head where you're the defendant, the prosecutor, and the judge, and you never once hired a defense attorney. Susan Nolan Hoeksema, a psychologist at Yale who spent her career studying this pattern, called it rumination.
Her research found that people who chronically replay their mistakes don't just feel worse in the moment, they stay stuck in old pain for years because the mind never lets the wound scar over. If you can forgive a stranger for the exact same mistake you can't forgive yourself for, you're not being humble. You're prosecuting yourself in a case that closed years ago. Sign 6. You keep picking people who confirm what you already believe. This is the sign most people never see, and once you do, it changes everything. Look at your last few relationships. Look at your closest friendships. Not the ones you wish you had, the ones that actually take up your time and your energy. Is there a pattern? People who make you audition for love, friends who take and take, bosses who never quite see you. From the outside, it looks like bad taste. From the inside, it feels like fate. It's neither. Sandra Murray, a psychologist at the University of Buffalo, has spent years studying how self-worth shapes who we let close. Her research shows that people who don't believe they're lovable will actually push away partners who treat them well and hold tighter to the ones who confirm the story that they're not enough, because being right about yourself feels safer than being loved. So you keep hiring the bullies your inner voice already agrees with. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern trying to be seen. So, how to turn every one of these signs into a way out? First, start talking to yourself like someone you're responsible for, not vaguely nicer. Try this instead. The next time that voice starts up, ask if you'd say the same words to a 7-year-old version of you. If you wouldn't say them to that kid, don't say them to the adult version sitting there now. Second, let one compliment land this week, just one. When someone praises you, resist the reflex to swat it away. Say thank you and let it sit there, awkward as it feels. That's how the wall starts coming down, one brick at a time. Third, catch the sabotage while it's still small. The moment you notice yourself pulling away from something good, an opportunity, a person, a chance, name it out loud. Naming the pattern is what breaks its spell. Patterns you can see stop being fate. And fourth, when that 2 a.m. courtroom starts up in your head, ask what you'd say if a friend brought you the exact same case. Then say that to yourself, out loud if you have to, because the person you've been at war with is also the only person who can call a ceasefire. Which of these 7 hit the hardest? Tell me in the comments. I read them. Hit subscribe if this landed, and I'll see you in the next one.